my back. What we have here is a matter of humiliation and human kindness. Dumbbells. You leave me no other choice. You're welcome.
You're slowing down. Come on, cowboy. Bring it.
Corey, I don't want to rehash this because it makes me angry every time I do. But I know you were in the room with President Trump, and you were staffing him for the debate, and you were there. And did it boggle your mind that the anchors didn't even say, like, sorry you got shot?
Well, look, they don't care is the difference, right? They have this fake outrage when some comedian at Madison Square Garden says something about Puerto Rico, but can't give him the deference of 2 assassination attempts on his life. I was in the room for that debate. I was standing right there. And, the vitriol that came out of their eyes. I mean, if they could have laser beams coming out of their eyes, Donald Trump doesn't deserve to be on the stage. And then the deference they showed the vice president. Oh, Madam Vice President, your microphone will be right here, and we will make sure that every question is not interrupted, Madam. And then she's interrupting Donald Trump. Remember that? And they never cut her off. They never fact-checked her. It's the same thing that the American people have seen now for almost 10 years. And that's why Donald Trump won in a landslide, because they're tired of the fake news, making up fake stories with their fake outrage.
Yes. So there's going to be a lot of outrage when Donald Trump pardons J6ers. He made a ton of news this weekend. I think that's what NBC News led with, actually, in their write-up of this, is that President Trump plans to pardon January 6th political prisoners on day one. As somebody who's so close to the president and what the plans are, can you expound on that or what that plan may be as it stands right now?
Well, he has a huge agenda on day one. I had the chance to spend some time with him on Thursday at Mar-a-Lago. We sat for 3 or 4 hours talking with a small team about ideas of what's most important day one. Listen, day one, Donald Trump's going to seal this border. Okay, that's a fact. Day two, we're starting the deportation of the murderers and the rapists and all the convicted felons who are in this country. When they emptied out their mental institutions and their jails from other countries and came here, those people are gone. Goodbye. But also, you have to take care of the people who've been prosecuted and persecuted from a 2-tier justice system, and that includes the January 6ers. Let's be very clear. Those people who went to the Capitol in a peaceful way, who were, it seems to be, let in by the Capitol Police, who opened the doors on some occasions, said, come on in. I've been sitting in a federal penitentiary for what is likely almost 4 years now, without any due process other than some leftist judge saying, hey, you committed a crime of trespassing, go sit in a prison. And you juxtapose that to the BLM marchers and the rioters who blew up police substations, threw Molotov cocktails at police cars, lit cities on fire. And what do we see? Vice President Harris is bailing those people out of jail if they were even given any monetary discernment to have to pay. Because these liberal justices and liberal DAs are letting people off when they commit crimes on the left with no bail at all.
It is watching these videos, and we're so thankful for Tucker Carlson and Speaker Mike Johnson for finally releasing this. It does look entirely like entrapment, and we have been lied to, and it's music to our ears. Thank you so much, Corey, for pushing for this. Like, sincerely, we've been talking about this on the show for years now. And this is wrong. I mean, it's wrong and it's sick.
Change is coming. Listen, Kash Patel is going to fundamentally reform this broken, crooked FBI. These guys who use their badges and their guns to go after American citizens because they didn't like our politics. They lied to the FISA court to get warrants to spy on us. They went to our friends around the world and said, hey, you can listen to Americans on domestic soil. We can't go and do that. We know that happened. James Comey lied under oath. Andy McCabe lied under oath. We call that perjury. No criminal prosecution from them. When Kash Patel is sworn in as the next FBI director, and I'm so excited about this one, things are going to change over there. Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice. Wholesale and fundamental change is coming to Washington, D.C. 7 weeks from today. And when that happens, guess what? Federal employees are going to have to show up at work every day to earn their salaries, not just once every 2 weeks, which is what they're doing now.
So since we're talking about these confirmations and we've been hitting it as hard as we possibly can you explain to members of the Republican Senate what will happen when they vote against the single most popular president in my lifetime, a man who won the popular vote, who won all 7 swing states, if they vote against these nominees, which it is the single greatest cabinet that has been put together. You got Kash, you got Hegseth, Tulsi, RFK, Alina Habba, Corey, we're like, every single day is like Christmas morning. And these senators, for some reason, think they're more powerful than the MAGA movement, more powerful than Republican voters, and more powerful than Team Trump. And I think it's possibly the worst miscalculation in the history of politics.
Let me just give you a couple names. Bernie Moreno and David McCormick, neither one of which would be a United States senator elect today if it wasn't for Donald Trump. Tim Sheehy may have pulled it out in a squeaker in Montana, but the fact is it is only because of Donald Trump and what he's able to bring to the ballot box that those individuals came across the line. And because those individuals came across the line, we have a Senate Republican majority for the first time in 4 years. So if the Republicans choose to vote against the president's nominees, the people who he has decided to surround himself with as the prerogative that he has, the ultimate recourse will be at the ballot box. And when you want to challenge Donald Trump at the ballot box, listen, I know how to run elections. I know how to win elections. So does he. This guy wins 99.8% of his primary elections that he weighs in on. There will be no resource that we will not use to go after those United States senators that vote against Donald Trump's choices for his cabinet picks or his other nominees. So listen, whether you're in Maine or you're in Alaska or you're in the state of Iowa, get on Team Trump because the MAGA movement is across all 50 states. We will find you and we will beat you in a primary.
Corey, I love having you on the show because, like, in the back of my head, I'm like, that's a viral clip. That's a viral clip. That's a viral clip. Something that just went viral across our timelines. And I know you are a former law enforcement officer, so I know that this must mean something deeply to you. And I don't think the campaign has responded just yet. But there was a man who's being persecuted in New York City that was finally acquitted, Daniel Penny, and it happened live on this show just a few minutes ago. And I'd just love to get your snap reaction to that. I'm sure you've been following that pretty closely.
The fact that he was even tried is a tragedy of justice. Let me just tell you that. Listen, this coming week, I'm going to have the privilege to go to New York City for a YR gala that they're doing over the weekend. I'm going to bring my family. I've got 4 young kids. We'll be on the subway. If something happens on that subway, I want Daniel Perry next to me. I want him protecting me and my family, my 4 young children, my wife. You know, this is a United States Marine who was trained to protect people. That's what we invest in these individuals. And he did everything by the book. The fact that he was prosecuted just tells you how out of touch Alvin Bragg is, how much he wants to politicize. They tried to make this a case about race. It had nothing to do about race. This is about a guy who walked on the subway, who was willing, who said, someone's going to die here today, and I don't care, and I'll go to Rikers for it. Daniel Perry heard that. The other participants on that subway card heard that. And Daniel Perry put him in a submission hold that ultimately was the right thing to do to protect the people on the train. And God forbid somebody else is on a subway car in New York City and the same thing happens. Someone is going to give themselves pause before they step up and try and defend somebody else because of Alvin Bragg. I'm so happy that he has now been acquitted, that they will not try him again. And this is the right decision by the jury.
Fantastic. Just really quickly, the lawfare. There's one more. President Trump talked about Fani. So the lawfare in New York's been defeated. The final one is Fani Willis in Georgia. Any message to Fulton County?
Yeah, Fanny's another name for ass in my business, right? That's what it is. And so that's where we are. She's a disgusting, terrible prosecutor. She was sleeping with her boyfriend, who the taxpayers paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then again, tried to use the issue of race to say that, yeah, we paid in cash and, I have no receipts for any of these transactions, but you're attacking me because because you're racist. No, we're attacking you because you have gone over, above, and beyond the line for criminal prosecution. You should not be prosecuting this case. This case too will go away. Fannie will have her day. And the truth is Donald Trump has won every single one of these cases because he never did anything wrong.
Yes, we're excited. We're excited to see how this one shakes out. So we have some breaking news. I can't believe it. You said she paid in cash. Well, we have some breaking news for your boy Cash. Corey, Joni Ernst officially backing Cash Patel. Holy smokes! Maybe she's tuning into the show, bro. Like maybe she's watching you live. Have you ever considered maybe she's watching you live right now and literally like out of fear making these decisions?
Well, it should be one of the many millions watching us live right now, which is what I love, right? We bypass the mainstream media. We go directly to the people on a platform like this. And listen, I traveled on a bus tour with Joni Ernst. Cash was on that bus tour, Matt Whitaker, people that you know and the show knows. The truth is she can be very reasonable on some cases. But when it comes to Pete, we're all in for. Okay, I've known Pete a long time. This guy's a hero. He's a warrior. 2 Bronze Stars, Harvard educated, Princeton educated. If his name wasn't Pete Hegseth, they'd be giving him another medal right now. But you know what? They don't like him because he's not a general, because he doesn't fit the military-industrial complex that they're saying they have to. So I'm glad that Joni Ernst is supporting Cash. Cash is going to be the next FBI director. I'm super excited about that. I love that I see my friends going in to reform this government, to make people come to work every day, to fix a broken system. This is a step in the right direction.
Yes, fantastic. As a former law enforcement officer yourself, what do you want to see Cash do day one? You talked about Trump day one. Okay, what about Cash Patel at FBI day one?
Look, I want to see my FBI file, right? I can only imagine what's in that baby. I want to say, Cash, baby, let me just take a quick peek, just a little peek.
That's a first. Probably, okay, yeah.
This thing's the size of the Gideon Bible, probably, but that's okay, right? Because they think because I support Donald Trump, I'm a bad guy. No, but the truth is what Cash said, and I think he's right, is let's close that Hoover building where 7,000 people come and push paper, and let's put our officers back on the street to keep us safe. Let's make cops again. Let's go after those people who lied. If the statute of limitations has not expired for those people who committed crimes against American citizens, let's go hold those people accountable, and let's retrain the members of the FBI, because I'll tell you what I'm sick of hearing. Well, the rank and file is great, but it's the leadership. Really, the rank and file went down and kicked the door down at Mar-a-Lago. The rank and file has been at my home on multiple occasions telling me that they've got a search warrant for my home or for products because I was tired of the Russia collusion, fake Russia collusion narrative, right? I was there when Comey, Clapper, and Brennan walked into Trump Tower in 2016 after Donald Trump had won and pulled out this fake BS Steele dossier and then turned around and leaked that directly to the press saying, well, it was given to the president during his presidential daily briefing. So there's some bad apples there, but that doesn't just start at the top. So let's go and let's get those people out and have fundamental change. And by the way, there's no way we need all these guys running around the federal government. Let's cut the workforce by about a third, if not half. And I hope the Doge guys come up with that plan so we can get the American people's tax-paying dollars back in the path where it should be.
Yes. In closing here, Corey, I love having you as a guest because you have seen all the battles and you've seen it and you've been a victim, actually, of some of the dirtiest tricks there are. And there's such a difference. Everyone feels it. But you have a very specific perspective on the difference because you were there. You've been in the room at the debate, during the first dirty tricks, Russiagate. You've been a victim of a lot of this. And now you can see it with clarity. Please explain the differences between now and 2017, 2016 with President Trump.
Well, he's a much more sophisticated candidate, much more sophisticated person. And I think this. I'll equate this to a professional athlete. When you make it to the pinnacle of your sport, whether it's the Super Bowl, the World Series, as a rookie, you think you get to do it all the time. And sitting out the 4 years that we had to sit out because of what they did during the election. And we know that part of that election was completely fraudulent. I don't care what anybody says. I was there in Philadelphia when they were separating the ballots from the envelopes, not letting us watch it. But going back now 4 years later gives us a stronger resolve, more of a titanium backbone, right? To know that we're going to go do things and not have to be accountable because we're in that second term. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I don't mean we're not accountable to the American people, but we are. But not accountable to the bureaucrats and the mainstream media who's going to call Donald Trump all the names. He is completely resolved to not make the mistakes he made in 2017, which was, and I've said it 100 times, we weren't ready to go on day one. I can tell you that is not the case. 7 weeks from today at noontime, when Donald Trump puts his hand on that Bible, this administration will be ready to go. I implore the members of the U.S. Senate to get his nominations through as quickly as possible and to get them on the ground so that we don't have a bunch of career bureaucrats running these government agencies, because that's what they do when the Senate doesn't confirm our nominees. So let's get them done. Let's go in and take over the government, and let's execute on the plans that Donald Trump has laid out on the campaign trail on behalf of the American people.
I cannot underline to the audience how important what Corey just said is. If you do not confirm, what the Senate is allowing is career bureaucrats, the parasitic class in Washington, to run these agencies. So every day the Senate doesn't confirm Pete Hegseth, they allow for Joe Biden to run the Department of Defense again. right? And the continuance of the Joe Biden regime. So it's Republicans in not confirming President Trump's nominees. I'm so glad you brought this up. They're literally voting for Joe Biden to continue running these agencies. Am I wrong, Corey?
You're exactly right. It will be a continued extension. Listen, and I'm involved a little bit in a couple of these agencies. A lot of my friends are going into the cabinet, whether it's Duffy or Zeldin or so many others. And they say, hey, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of that guy? I say, here's the problem. If we don't get our people through, the bureaucrats that are there that were appointed by Biden stay in their positions until you get through. So we have to push the U.S. Senate, because just because Donald Trump takes the oath of office doesn't mean we get control of the full federal government. Those unelected bureaucrats, those senior executive service employees, those politicals that are appointed by Biden who aren't fired on day one, stay in those offices and continue to stop our agenda from going forward, because they hate Donald Trump and they hate everything we stand for, and they don't want to come to work, so they want to try and obfuscate as much as possible.
Wow. So this is it's a brilliant point. You said when Trump lays his hand on the Bible, everything's going to change. But Trump's been laying his hands on people this weekend. We have the official handshake from Emmanuel Macron here. This is America's back, baby. America's back, baby. Did you teach Trump this handshake? Corey, you can tell us.
Hey, I've taught Trump nothing. I'm just along on the roller coaster ride. Every good idea is his. Every bad idea was mine. Just remember that. And so, listen, but here's what it is.
It's amazing.
This is the world domination
amazing
that Donald Trump brings. Every world leader looks to Donald Trump knowing that he is the boss. He's the boss of the bosses, okay? And they all recognize that. And so when he shows up on the world stage, whether it's Emmanuel Macron or it is Zelensky, who maybe we could take a collection up and buy the guy an effing suit. I don't know. I've met the guy a couple of times. The guy can never wear a suit. It's just incredible. But what we should, look, he's only taken about 150 billion out of us. You think he could buy go to Brooks Brothers or something, right? But Donald Trump is the boss, and the world is about to change.
Yep. Yeah, baby gap. I've seen these little suits that they let, your nephew, walks down the aisle throwing the flowers, right? You just get him one of those.
That's right.
I think my nephew might have one, actually. So this is, you're exactly right, man. This handshake, I think, went the most viral of anything that happened in Paris over the past weekend. But the vibes were immaculate. It's so wonderful to see America back. It's Daniel Penny, Kash Patel, Pete Hegseth, masculinity reasserting itself, American dominance reasserting itself. It's such an incredible time to be alive.
When did it become a bad word to be a masculine man, to take care of other people, right? When you're opening car doors for women and you're saying, boy, you look pretty today, you look nice today, right? How come that's such a bad thing all of a sudden? In the world of government parlance, you say those things and they put a little note in your file that you can't get a promotion. That's why I don't work for the government, okay? Because I'm unapologetically a man. I got nothing to, no one's ever questioned, say a lot of things about me, but they've never questioned that.
So it's like we're excited for this. We're excited for this moment. We don't want to miss though what just happened. And I want to close with this. Since you were at Trump's side through all of this, and we love the art of the surge, we love sort of the back, the documentary of what's happening behind the scenes. When I say most memorable moment of 2024, what comes to mind, Corey?
I was there when he did the garbage truck. That was pretty amazing. I was there when he did the debate. That was pretty amazing. I was there at Butler too. Pretty amazing. But here's the thing. The best moments for me, and I've done it, I've been so fortunate to do it so many times, is on the airplane, just having conversations about not just politics, but life with the president. Talking about things, listening to the music that he blares at, decibels that are probably north of 200, and watching and listening to the same. It's like a routine, and you get into it and you say, boy, James Brown is beyond. He's going to be on tonight, and so it's so special. You look back at it, and with all the many rallies I've been to, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I never take them for granted. But those private moments on the plane with a small group of people where he can really have candid conversations is super special.
Yes. Since you brought it up, I just have to ask the Village People, will they be performing at the inauguration?
Well, I saw that they want to. The number one song in America, 1972, I think they came out with that thing. All of a sudden, these guys are very rich from Donald Trump again. So that's what Trump does for the guys who were successful in the 70s. That's what he's going to do for America. He's going to make everyone rich.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this interview isn't proof enough, then please take my word for it. Go follow Corey Lewandowski. Go follow him. He's past 500,000, and we're going to get him to 1 million. A million by Christmas? I don't know. Seems aggressive. Maybe we can do it. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a man who's been by Trump's side and is, what's the best way to say it? Like a protector of the president, quite frankly, from pretty evil forces. And you got to follow Corey Lewandowski. The guy spits pure fire, and he's on the side of right. Godspeed, Corey.
Thank you.